Welcome to the Seven Figure Leaders podcast. This podcast was created to celebrate the success stories of seven-figure business owners, giving them a platform to share their insights and lessons learned in order to inspire other business owners. As well as that, it's an opportunity to build new connections. So if you're a seven-figure business owner or someone who works with seven-figure business owners, and you're looking for introductions to potential stakeholders, strategic partners, and clients, I'd love to hear from you or have you on as a guest and see if I can help make those connections for you. Just go to synergycfosolutions.co. That's synergycfosolutions.co and click podcast. And there you'll find the link to apply. Today we've got Ashley Winston. Welcome, Ashley.
Thank you very much.
Why don't you give us a bit of a background as to who you are and what you do?
My name's Ashley Winston. I run a company called Palmdale Car Finders, and my company helps people get a proper used car without having any of the hassle or headaches that come from dealing with a lot, but not all, but a lot of car dealers.
Okay, excellent. Well, we can definitely dive into that. Why didn't you give us a bit of a background as to kind of how you got here, where you've come from and business-wise and the journey you've been on?
Sure. I started in the corporate world, as a lot of people do. I worked for banks, and then I worked in the marketing department, and then I worked for a marketing agency whose clients were all banks. And it was great because for me, a salary has been something that I always used to buy cars. So it just made sense that sooner or later I'd get into the car world, and I started helping people with their car purchases 19 and a half years ago. And my plan was to do it for 6 months from the spare room of my bedroom. And I'm 19 years too late to stopping. And as time's gone by, the business has just grown and grown and grown. And I'm no longer in my spare bedroom anymore.
No, you're in a car.
I am in a car. Thankfully, the business has afforded me a couple of interesting cars, and welcome to one of my machines.
Excellent. And so, what is the business model, and has it evolved? Is it the same as it was when you started? Run us through how that's changed.
Yeah, it very much has evolved, and it continues to evolve. We had a big change of strategy and products just beginning of this year. So the basic model of the company is that we charge a fee to handle everything for a client involving their used car purchase. But that changed in January because one of our key principles in the company is that we like to help to educate people on the best ways of buying cars. And we got fed up with people asking us, can you help me? I've only got a small amount of money spending on the car. We kept having to say no. We don't like saying no. People need help. So we set up a range of 5 different products that range from a free guide up until someone who wants to buy something like a Ferrari.
And you're the first person who does this that I've met. So what was it that kind of gave you this idea in the first place?
There are others. I'd love to say it was a genius idea for me right from the start. It wasn't. I did what I generally spend a lot of my life doing, which is that I did what I wanted to do. And I enjoyed it, so I carried on doing it. That really is a large part of the story of my life. And for the longest time, I didn't really realize why we did this, why it was important, why clients flocked to us. None of that, I never really thought much about it and put 2 and 2 together. And so I realized that the reason we exist, the whole reason we're out there is that, in our opinion, and very much in our experience, when you buy a used car, generally you spend a lot of money and you get treated, the level of service is a lot lower down. Not always, but generally and definitely most of the time. Considering how much money you're spending directly with the person selling you a vehicle and how you get treated is not appropriate. I mean, I'll give you an example. £10,000 in today's money does not buy you a great car. But for me, £10,000 is a lot of money. If you gave me £10,000 for this chat we're having now, I would be thrilled with myself. I'll be buying drinks for everyone tonight. But in car world, £10,000 gets you treated poorly, gets you sold a car, may not even be working properly a lot of the time, gets you a sales agent who's rude to you. We have clients who spend £100,000 plus in a car and still have problems with dealers not taking their responsibilities properly. It's just not fair. It's just not right. Honestly, it makes us sick to our stomachs, and everything we can do to help sort that out is what we're all about. It's why we exist.
Amazing. So have you got any horror stories you can share, and kind of ways that you make sure that the buyer doesn't or assure
Yeah.
the front?
Yeah. I will give you a horror story from 2 days ago. It was just fresh and raw in our collective minds of the Palmdale team right now, which we went up to the north of England. I won't say where because it will narrow it down to a franchised official Volkswagen dealer who had a car in stock for a client of ours who had just arrived in the UK from overseas, from Spain, and needed a 7-seat people carrier to get his family around. We went up there, having been told the car was absolutely wonderful, and it's only the third time it's happened this year. It doesn't happen very often. We got up there and we found our driver Dennis quickly found out that the car had obviously had a bad accident to one of the rear doors, their sliding doors. It was rattling around. The paint didn't fix right. He found cigarette burns in the seats. It smelt disgusting inside, not of cigarette smoke, but just like a wet dog had just made love in the car. It was horrible. And the dealer's point of view, and this is an official franchise Volkswagen dealer, was look, okay, I hear what you're saying, but it's good enough for a 4-year-old 7-seat people carrier. And our view was we'd give all the information to the client and help them make a decision. Thankfully, the client said, no, I don't want to go ahead, which is a problem because I need a car. And the dealer, honestly, dealer really couldn't care less. And the client's actually really grateful to us. We hate these things. Actually, Dennis, our driver, gets a bonus for rejecting a car. We encourage our team to, do the right thing. And the client's response has been, thank you so much for saving me from this bad car. And we're now rushing around this week trying to get him another car that hopefully, while the team is going down to Devon tomorrow to pick it up. But it's just, it's not a way to treat a customer. It's not a way to treat another human being.
Yeah, absolutely. And so you said that you've got I think you said 5 packages or 5 products that you sell.
Yes.
And that ranges from, I'm guessing, the bottom end where someone's got £5,000 and they're looking to go and buy a secondhand car, all the way up to a Ferrari. Is that?
Yeah. So they break down as follows. The bottom of the line is our free guide, downloadable from our website. Anyone can download it because we really believe that you need that information out there. If you use the information, that means you're not using us. In fact, people said we were mad to put all that free information out there. It's 44 pages long. It's everything we know. It's not about that. People need help. So that's our free guide. The bottom level is called L. The fee is £99, and it's like a second opinion on a car just before you buy it. So you could be spending 500 quid on the car. You could be spending £5,000 on a car. We had an L for someone who's spending 25 grand on a car. He just wanted a professional to look at all the data and go, that makes sense. GL is the next level up. And GL is where it's 495 plus a third of any discount we generate. And GL is whereby a client says to us, well, here are 20 cars I found online I'm interested in buying. Could you just go through those, negotiate the price, and just feedback and let me know what I need to know on these cars and how good they are? Our most popular service is called Gear, GHIA. In case you haven't figured it out, I expect you haven't because you're not this sad. These are classic Ford trim levels. Gear is 995 plus third of any discount. A client says, I want a Porsche Taycan Cross Turismo Sport. I only want it in black, silver, or red. I've got 80 grand to spend. I must have these 8 options on there. Please let me know what you find. So we'll go and do all the work. There's also a collection of delivery options. So the client doesn't have to go anywhere near the car to pick it up. And GearX is the same as Gear. It's mandatory for any car above £150,000. It is for the Ferraris. You can't see out the rear window, but 2 cars back from me, there is a Ferrari. It is mandatory for anything over 150 grand, but it's like our premium services. Delivery is included for free 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, anywhere in the UK. There's a whole lot of other things as well we throw in for free, such as a lot of extra help and advice and support, and a free valet of the car's 3 months old. But it is our premium product. So after years of saying we can only help you if you're buying that, we can now say it doesn't matter how much you're spending, we can be of assistance.
Okay, excellent. And so, as well as that, so those obviously fees you charge in return for a service. You're also sat in a car now, and you've got cars in the showroom. What are they for?
These are for a happy marriage, because it means that my little collection of cars doesn't have to be at home anymore. My wife doesn't know about them. Well, no, it's not true. She does know. There are people who have collections of cars hidden from their wives in storage facilities. It does actually happen. So this is one of my own cars, a little Lotus I bought back in last November. Everything in this row is our Ashley's toys.
Okay.
We've got a couple of our rental cars here because for some of our clients that come from overseas, they want a rental car. A couple of them are out at the moment. We've got a couple of cars in storage for clients. And we've got what else we got? We've got a couple of cars that have been bought back from clients because any car we source, we guarantee we'll buy it back from them at any point from the day they get it, the same day, 10 years later. So they're here
Wow.
and yet to
That's
go.
a big guarantee.
Yeah, it's really interesting because people go, "Wow, how can you do that?" And why would you do that? Because a lot of our clients are in the UK just for 3 years or so on a work placement. They want to know that they can exit the car really easily, so that they can, when they leave the country, again, it's just as easy for them to get rid of the car as it is for them to get into the car. And our buyback guarantee states quite clearly that we promise to buy it back, and we promise it will be the best trade price that they'll get. So it doesn't state what it's going to be in the future, but at least it shows them what they can get out of the that they can get out of the car. So it sounds more impressive than it really is, to be completely frank.
Okay. And so for anyone listening who's thinking, I bought a car before and it all went fine, or I'm about to buy a car and I think I know what I'm doing, I'm just going to go on Auto Trader and find a car and go visit them and pay for it type thing. What are the biggest mistakes that you see people like that doing or
I have
making?
to say, if you've got the skills and capability to do it yourself, do it yourself. Don't pay us. Don't pay us or a similar company to us. Not that I can think of anyone a fee to handle it for you if you can do it yourself. The biggest problem we find is that people get excited, and I'm the worst about that. I have cars of my own collection sitting here that, to be quite frank, I really shouldn't have bought. But they came up. I knew I wanted them, and I just bought them without any risk. Maybe it's like a rebellion thing. We spend so much time taking so much care over our finding cars for our clients. When it comes to our own cars, that we just go, "Oh, that will do." But yeah, you get excited, you see it, you kind of realize you want it, and you make excuses. Well, I know that's not perfect. Yeah, I can live with that. And actually, a lot of time you can't. So yeah, just be mindful about keeping that emotional distance from the purchase if you can. That would be the biggest bit of advice.
So that means they end up buying something that they shouldn't have bought, or they're overpaying.
Yeah, they overpay or they buy something they don't buy. We had a client recently who she wrote of her. It was just a Citroen DS5, and she wrote it off, and she was in a hurry to get a car. And we found her a car, and she's like, "Yep, that's great, that'll do." And then we delivered the car to her, and I as the founder of the company, even though I don't really do much car finding or client handling anymore, I always put a 7-day follow-up call into every client to find out how they're getting along. And my call was, "How are you getting along with your new DS5?" And the response was, "Actually, I don't like it." Okay, sure. What is it you don't like about it? Do you know what? I was really eager to get into a car because my last one had been crashed. It's black. I didn't want a black one, and it's slightly lower specification. I know I said it was the car I want, but the honest truth is, now you ask, I just don't like it. Because she rushed into a decision. We actually bought that car back and delivered her a week later a white one, the color she had previously, of a high specification. And now she is happy. I did follow up with her after 7 days again, quite nervously, but she is very happy. But yeah, she just made a quick decision because she got emotional. Not emotional, not the right word, but excited is not the right word as well. But it wasn't a logical step-by-step decision.
Yeah. Okay. And then with the higher end cars, let's say, I don't know, Ferrari, Maserati, or something like that. What types of clients do you work with on those?
Yeah, most
What
of
are
our
they
yeah,
looking
so
for? Companies with something specific, or
yeah, they'll fall into one or two categories usually. Either they'll be I've always wanted one, I've never had one before, I don't know much about them, I need some help. So a lot of our Ferrari clients are first-time Ferrari owners. I remember being a first-time Ferrari owner, and I bought a ridiculous Ferrari for first-time Ferrari owner, and it was a steep learning curve. Or they are busy people who are at the car level whereby they know what their hourly rate is worth. So they know that an hour of work will generate them 600 quid. And they look at this and they just go, "Well, you know what? For the sake of saving a day's worth of work, it just makes sense to pay these guys to do it for me. And I know what happened quickly and easily and right as well." So it's either, overexcitement avoidance or saving time.
yeah. And so, what went wrong in that first Ferrari that you bought?
No, nothing went wrong with it. I did all right. I bought an 80s Ferrari is not known for its reliability. My first ever Ferrari. It's 2 years in, and it's been absolute. Well, actually, 2 years in, apart from the first day where it nearly killed me, it's been great.
It nearly killed you.
Yeah, the accelerator jammed on full.
Oh, so okay, was it spelled not in the
Yeah.
Google?
So if I wouldn't have thought about it correctly, I wouldn't be here chatting to you now. I'd be a little smudge on the side of the road in a very, very pretty corpse. So
Lovely. Yeah. And so how have you grown the business? How have you got your clients over these years and built it to the point where, like you said earlier, you're now not actually doing the finding or the searching, and you've got a team doing that for you?
yeah, and I guess there's two things behind this. We are absolutely focused on the team. Any company now, what you do or what you produce or what you sell is down to the people in it. We are completely 100% there. That's it's got to be. We don't care how skilled someone is. They don't have the same viewpoint if they're not on with our mission of making things better for used car buyers. They do not become part of our team, which means that every single one of us is all pulling in the same direction. That's the first thing. But the key thing for us, and actually we didn't do this for the first few years, but we soon figured out that we're a B2C business. And I understand that most of your people that you have these chats with are B2B businesses, but most of our business comes from B2B relationships. And that's been massive for us. And it's been about building those relationships and managing those relationships, even though we're a B2C company. That's where we get most of our business from. And that's been huge.
So it's mostly been referrals from those referral partners, B2B, other businesses, basically.
Yeah.
And you haven't done much kind of direct to consumer or direct to prospect marketing on social media, or any of the old traditional methods like posting.
Yeah, we do all of that. We have an email newsletter. I post on LinkedIn most days. We have Twitter accounts. Sorry, X accounts. I still don't like calling it that. We have campaigns to our existing clients. We've been going for nearly 2 decades now, so we get quite a bit of churn business as well. But the growth of it, when you said growth, the growth is because we realize that partnerships is key. Partnerships is what makes people know about us who haven't known about us before more than anything else.
Yeah, absolutely. And then something I also like to ask, just because it's kind of what I help my clients with, is how you've managed the cash flow as you've grown. So cash flow in terms of, in your case, hiring a team, that's going to be the cash flow crunch part. How have you managed that over the years?
Really badly. I know when you and I first met, it kind of struck a bell with what you do, because I thought, yeah, we really messed that up in the past. There is an inherent problem with this company, which is that the founder of the company likes to buy cars to keep around that look pretty and drive nicely, and that really messes with your cash flow. As far as expansion goes, it's always been internal. There've been a couple of points where we've taken out loans just to help with a bit of an expansion point, but generally it's self-funded. So I'll be quite frank, that's probably not where we've done very well. I wish we would have known someone like you many years ago. I'd probably be in even nicer cars now. But yeah, it's lately we've learned that planning is the most important thing.
And what does planning mean to you?
Sorry?
What does planning mean to you? What would you need to plan?
It's like most important, cash flow, and not just looking at how much money is in our bank account at the time. There have been instances in the past where I know a nice car's come from an auction. We've just gone, oh, we've got money in our bank account. We'll add that to the fleet. And then 3 weeks later, gone, oh yeah, we've got rent and VAT and salaries and bonuses coming out as well. We probably shouldn't have done that. It's about properly looking forward, and not just weeks or months, but knowing that we plan to be this size company in 2 years' time, and therefore we need to start setting aside for that salary then, because as you alluded to when you asked the question, when you put someone new in, you have to pay for them for a while until they start earning their keep, and that's a very important thing to allocate for.
Definitely, yeah. Interesting points, and very common mistakes that lots of small business owners make. And I know you said that the owner of the business likes to buy cars, but you're obviously very passionate about cars, and that's probably actually the reason that you've done well. So
yeah, it is. It really, and I'm reining it in here. I want you to know, because I appreciate that I'm not speaking to car nerds here, but I'm keeping it a bit inside, so I don't see how crazy nuts I am, because it's a bit weird.
You're doing well. You seem very chill so far. So, so what's next for the business then? Growth plans, ambition.
Yeah. We have a BHAG. Do you know what a BHAG is? It's a big, hairy, audacious goal.
Okay.
It means that we want to pretty much 10 times the volume of clients we're helping at the moment. And we want to do it over the next 3 years. We took on a non-exec director a little over a year ago, who's really helped with that kind of direction. And it is again the right kind of person on board. But he's really helped open our eyes. The fact that there's what we do is goes down very well. It's just about now. It's about volume. It's about growing volume and growing the team, yet still keeping the same consistency going on. That's our future plans right now. It's all focused on that.
And so what needs to be done for you to service 10 times the number of people? Because actually, the reason I asked that is because one of my earlier clients, they were a marketing agency. They were doing about 500 grand a month. They wanted to scale to 1 million. And they just said, right, we'll just turn up the ads. And in 3 months, we'll be there. And I said, okay, you turn up the ads. And what about your team? Can your team service all those new clients you're going to get? And also the churn, the number of clients leaving every month. Have you kind of worked out what this looks like? And he sort of said no. And we modeled it out, and it turned out that he'd have to hire something like 2 people every month in order to service that new business once it doubles in size. So yeah, the question I ask is with that in kind of my.
So we don't know whether our plan's going to work or not. We don't know because we haven't tried it yet, and that's okay. We're fine with that. If our plan that we've got, which I'll tell you in a second, doesn't work, then we'll change it. But the basic plan is to divide the business up into client service pods. So each pod will have 3 members of staff: a client manager, a dealer manager, and an admin person as well. And so that'll be quite easy for us to grow pods at a time. So we've got step-by-step planned out strategy about when the company grows and when we add pods on there, and what it's going to cost us and what we need to allow the cash for. The biggest thing is marketing, because we can't just turn on ads. They don't. I wish. I don't know. I don't wish, but I'm jealous of businesses who do something that everyone knows about. I'm jealous of a plumber, because someone says I'm a plumber, you go, oh, I know what you do. I could possibly use you. Used car buying assistance.
I know.
Isn't really a category out there. It means we have an opportunity to. I've never read the book Play Bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Play Bigger. So Play Bigger talks about making a business a category king. We have the opportunity to become a category king because no one does what we do, and we can then corner the market with it. But it's about start spreading the word that there is this option there. When you're buying a used car, you don't have to go to a used car dealer. You can actually use someone else. It means our potential market is huge. It's many times our big, hairy, audacious goal. There's the thing. But yeah, marketing the big thing for us. So we need to grow our marketing strategy.
Amazing. Well, it sounds like you've got a few exciting years ahead of you. So for anyone who's listening to this and who thinks, I'm about to buy a car, I need to get in touch with Ashley, or anyone else, kind of business connections that you'd be looking for, or that they think would be interested, worth having a conversation with you, we'll make it very easy for them to get in touch with you. Put your LinkedIn and your website in the show notes. Is there anything else you want to share with the audience before we?
If I'm being selfish, I'm going to be selfish, and I'm going to give. Let's do it in that order as well. Selfishly, we do very well with connections to concierge companies and anyone in global mobility, which is international relocations, people coming to the UK. Unselfishly, look at the links on our website. You can use us, great, but please just download the free guide if you're thinking about buying a used car. You don't have to read all 44 pages unless you want to go to sleep really quickly, but there'll be bits and pieces that will relate to you. Please just do that. And we offer anyone who's looking at buying a car free 20-minute consultancy call. We don't pitch for our services in that. So if anyone would like one of those calls on the team, just reach out to me and I'll set that up very easily.
Brilliant. We'll put those links in the show notes. And anyone who's even remotely interested in buying a new car, then download that guide. And we'll wrap it up there. So Ashley, thanks very much for coming on. Pleasure to speak to you, and wishing you the best of luck over the next few years of the business.
Thank you very much, Tom.
Thanks for listening. As I mentioned at the beginning of the episode, this podcast was created to celebrate the success stories of seven-figure business owners, giving them a platform to share their insights and lessons learned in order to inspire other business owners. As well as that, it's an opportunity to build new connections. So if you're a seven-figure business owner or someone who works with seven-figure business owners and you're looking for introductions to potential stakeholders, strategic partners and clients, I'd love to hear from you or have you on as a guest and see if I can help make those connections for you. Just go to synergycfosolutions.co. That's synergycfosolutions.co and click podcast. On that page, you'll find the link to apply.